Dun, 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 dun. Oh, sorry.
And we're on, man. yeah.
Whoops.
Yeah. He likes to sing before we start these things.
Dun, 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 dun,
Yeah,
dun.
get himself in the mood. But look, we got a pretty kind of sober week this week, man.
Well, look, International Week.
It's
Look,
every EPL fan's worst nightmare.
we had a good run, though. It was about 4 months without international break, so...
Yeah, but instantly there's already injuries.
Oh,
Instantly.
yeah.
Gravenberch's already been injured.
Well, I think it's more that they don't want to play because
Let's hope it is.
Yeah, because
Yeah.
in England, like the England players. So the reason why they've got the break is for World Cup qualifiers and Nations.
The Nations League.
Yeah,
most
the
players
quarterfinals.
hate the Nations League.
Yeah,
They also don't understand it. I still don't understand it. How many years have been doing it? Doesn't make sense.
It's really they make it friendlies more competitive. That's all it is. It's a friendly competition, but they've put meaning behind it, which is stupid.
Well, I mean, you get something out of it.
You
I
get something
suppose.
out of it. That's
But-
all it is. Yeah.
I mean, you know who cares about it? Like the teams that can't qualify the normal way into the World Cup and such.
Yeah, exactly.
And they just expanded it anyway. So those.
Oh, we can go from C to B.
Well, I mean,
Okay.
it might work for Italy.
Let's hope, right? We got Germany tomorrow morning. So there's 2 legs, one tomorrow, and then next week's the second leg.
It's 2 different teams, right? Though. Well, they're playing two legs against Germany.
No, quarterfinal. So it's 2 legs
Oh, that's right. 'cause-
over like for the tie.
Yeah. Well, I mean,
Look, we'll get into I think that'll be next week.
We can talk about the games next week.
Yeah,
but,
that'll be next week.
you know, begrudgingly. That's what we'll do.
Because there won't be
Begrudgingly
much else to talk about.
Yeah. But look, I've got a little bit of gossip for this week.
Let's start with our gossip.
That's it. So
Where are we starting this
look,
week?
I think, God, it would have been a while ago now. We spoke about Alexander Ishak's house getting robbed.
We did, yes.
And it's a recurring occurrence here, right? We've had Sterling's house been robbed multiple times.
Right.
Giroud's house robbed. Ishak's house robbed.
A lot of players get their house robbed. I think they'd have better security systems.
Well, I mean, maybe these thieves are getting more savvy.
Well, from what I read with the Ishak ones, they seem real savvy.
Well, I mean, look, they did just smash a window and get in, so I don't know how savvy it is. However, they have kind of they've caught and found guilty the culprits, if you want to put it that way, of the actual kind of theft. So what it was, they're traveling thieves, as called it in the Daily Mail article, which I thought was pretty funny.
Traveling thieves,
Yeah,
cool.
so they're traveling thieves. So they've come over on a ferry from Italy, and not only hit up Ishak's house, but multiple houses, kind of in that area, as well as something down in Sunderland as well.
Yeah,
So,
they're right next to it. Newcastle, Sunderland, right next to each other.
so
Yeah.
they've obviously been traveling around, just obviously the rich neighborhoods, just robbing every house that they can find. But
Sunderland, rich neighbourhood? I've seen Sunderland until we die.
yeah, well, they got off with some designer clothes, so you know
There was stuff there. Look, there was stuff there to be robbed.
correct. Whether maybe it wasn't legitimate, I don't know. But in the Ishak case, which was heard, or finalised 2 days ago.
Yeah.
So obviously while they're in there, they stole £68,000 worth of jewelry.
Nice.
They stole his Audi RS6, which is
they actually stole a car.
Yeah, which was the estate car.
Not bad for ferry thieves.
Yeah, that's what I mean. And £10,000 or £10,000 in cash. So this was last April. They managed to find them. So it's actually a family of culprits.
Oh, like a crime family.
Yeah, yeah.
Cool.
Well, I mean, we'll jump over and I'll show you some pictures of what these people look like. And you know, when you imagine a crime family, you kind of assume
Yeah, you think of like the
the
Gardis.
Sopranos.
Yeah, Sopranos. You know
Something
what I mean?
like that. It's nothing like that. So the order house is Giacomo Nikolov, his sister Yela Jovanic, who's 43 by the way, and her son Charlie Jovanic, who's 23. So they're keeping it within the family. I suppose that's how you can kind of best trust it.
Yeah. Good. Well, that's nice. Keeping a family business a family business.
Let's jump across to the article so you can kind of see what these guys look like.
They look like he looks like a respectable.
That's
Respectable man of society.
Nikolov, right? 32. So he was convicted of conspiracy to commit burglary. And then we jump down to Giacomo, who's been caught and convicted as well. Giacomo. Oh, sorry.
Yeah.
Thanks for the correction.
It's the shirt.
Yeah. It's an appropriate shirt to wear this week, to be fair. And then, God, doesn't the sister
haggard.
Yella just look gosh, she looks like she'd rob you, right?
She looks haggard.
She's she just looks like her life has really weighed upon her. You know? It just does not look like she's had a good time at all.
I mean, when you're part of when you're part of a ferry
Her son.
crime syndicate, yeah.
Can we just
Wait, she has a son?
This is the son.
So you're saying someone mated with her?
Yeah, dude.
Wow.
But I mean, it was 23 years ago. Her life might have been better.
She wouldn't look like a what's that dog with the droopy face? Is it
I know what you're
Droopy?
talking
Is it
about.
Droopy?
Oh, Droopy, the cartoon character? Yeah.
She looks like Droopy.
Yeah, I mean, he was on the different side of law, though. He was like a detective and
he
such
also
in
looked
the
really
country.
happy, even though he was droopy.
Yeah.
She, on the other hand,
I mean, does Yellow son just remind you of vote for Pedro? Vote for me. you know?
The wait, where are they from?
Well, they're Italian. They've
With a
come
name
over
like
from- yeah, I'm sure.
Jovanovic.
Yeah, their background sounds very Slavic,
yeah,
but
the Slavic. It's the Slavic
They
Pedro.
come over from Italy on the ferry, and apparently they arrived with a Citroen C3.
Okay,
Yeah,
cool.
Yeah, at least
Normal.
they had something.
That's normal, right?
Yeah, I mean, look, to be fair, I think they got greedy because from the amounts
That's
that they
true.
were getting from some of the other houses, they were up to like £1 million in like different stuff that they were stealing.
Wow.
How much more do you want?
Yeah.
Yeah, if you have a Citroen C3, just give it up,
Right.
dude.
Hey, just you take your winnings and you walk away.
Yeah,
It's
they
like
can
the
never do
person.
it.
It's like the person at the pokie machine. They've got $3,000 in their account, and you're thinking, bro, just take it and go. They're
Yeah.
like, no, I want the 10K. Why? You've got it. You've won.
You have your money.
You've got money, bro. Just walk out.
Yeah, but you know why? They're chasing their losses. So at some
Maybe
point,
they were chasing their losses.
yeah. I don't know what it was.
I don't know what they lost, but
because it looked like they had nothing. That's the point. They had nothing. They just kept chasing it. But yeah, look, they've all been caught and found guilty now. So
we're
you
just
know,
gonna wait for sentencing now.
yeah, they're definitely going to jail.
Yeah.
Right.
So we'll follow up on the crime syndicate. How'd you say their name?
Yeah, Giacomo.
No, not Giacomo. So what was it last name? Jovanovic.
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 Yeah.
We'll follow up on the Jovanoviches.
The mother son crime duo.
Were they under like a godfather?
Well, apparently there was an uncle. There was an uncle that was involved as well.
So the uncle's the godfather, huh?
Well, I mean that's what you'd assume. Hang on, let me pull up the article so I can see it. Yeah,
There he is.
Yeah,
Yeah, look.
I'll flick back so everyone can see this.
Safet
Safet Rumich.
Yeah. Looks
I like how none of them have the same name though.
he's got a real solid beard.
Yeah,
I'll give him that.
So he's the
all of his hair,
58-year-old
left his head, went straight to his
Yeah,
beard.
he's the 58-year-old father of Valentina Nikolov's former partner. It's a weird relationship where they're like, you broke up with my daughter. Want to do some crime? But he looks the most kind of well presented.
Well, that's
of the
how it
lot.
always is in like a crime family. The godfather gets all
Yeah,
the
that's
benefits.
true.
You know what I mean?
That's true.
The others were soldiers. He's the godfather.
So
You think Tony Soprano walked around traveling around on ferries and shit? Nuh-uh, bro.
no, he was eating that gabagool, baby. He was on that gabagool, getting all sweaty.
He had the good gabagool.
Yeah. Oh, but no, we'll follow up and see what these guys get sentenced for.
Yeah.
Because I'm sure it'll be some ridiculous sentence for like 5 years or something.
Can't
Not
wait.
even.
Can't wait.
But so look on the next one. This one's hilarious, actually. So we jump to the Bulgarian First
All right,
Division,
let's jump to Bulgaria.
and it's somewhere I'd never jumped before.
You know what I think we should do next year? I want a big map, right? And I just want to pinpoint all the stories from all the countries. that we
Yeah,
do.
which ones we hit.
Yeah, which ones we hit. Yeah, I want
Yeah.
to see if we can go all around the world.
Yeah, I think there'll be some that'll be hard.
Yeah, I think it'll be a good little. That'll be our thing for next year.
Yeah,
When the
we
new
got to get
season
at least
starts.
one drama from
Yes,
every
from
country.
every country.
But so the Bulgarian First Division, it was a game between Arda and Levski Sofia. So both those teams, before the game started, they started with a minute silence to honor one of the ex-Arda players,
Mm-hmm.
Petko Ganchev.
Ganchev, yeah.
Petko Ganchev, because he had passed away. Which
Sad.
It's sad, and it's the right thing to do.
Mm-hmm.
You later find out Petko's still alive. He
Okay,
had
so not sad.
he has not passed away at all,
Oh
and
my
they've just had a
God.
minute's silence before the game. Now, whether or not this was done divisively, like they were trying to get something on him, and like maybe some emotion to the game, I don't know, or they're just stupid enough to think that one of their ex-players
Oh
was
my
dead.
God.
It's almost like when you rock up to a Sunday league game, and then you're there and you just say, "Oh, dude, is this guy coming to?" He's like, "No, man, he was in a car accident. He's like broken his leg." And then at like halftime, the guy appears. You go, "Were you in a car accident?" He's like, "Yeah, dude, I was in a fender bender." And everyone's like, "Oh, well, they said you're in hospital." It's like, no one was in hospital. It's just like, "Oh, well, Rob said it." And he's like, "What are you talking about?" He goes, "Oh, that's what Chris told me." That's just what the Bulgarian First Division sounds like.
Right, it's like in The Simpsons where Homer meets his mum for the first time,
Yeah.
and the guy that's digging the graves goes, "Oh, isn't anybody in this damn grave dead?" And Hunt and Mulman pops up and goes, "Well, I didn't want to bother anyone, but now that you mention it,
Yeah, it would have been better. Look, obviously the club
I
came
wish he was
out.
at the game or like he just like randomly popped up. But what the fuck?
He's just sitting in the crowd going, "What
I'm right here, man.
the fuck?"
Oh God, am I dead?"
Yeah, he just doesn't know. But the club came out afterwards and said, "Oh, look, they're very sorry for the misunderstanding and wish Mr. Ganchev all the best."
Okay, how did they come to the conclusion that he was dead?
I don't know. I don't know how you can make such a grave error
Yeah.
where it's just like, "Oh no, he's dead." It's almost like they go through the obituaries
Yeah.
every day and they're like,
Ooh,
"Oh no, Mr. Ganchev."
There's a Petco. Well, that's the one we played for
Yeah.
us. He must be dead.
Yeah.
Sure, why not?
Well, let's just openly announce it and do a minute silence. Thanks a lot. So, look, the Bulgarian league sounds pretty wild.
Oh, dude, I assume the Bulgarian league would be wild for many, many reasons.
Yeah,
But that's
I mean,
one of them.
Yeah, misinformation.
That now goes to my top 3 lists of why they would be wild.
yeah, because you could just be dead when you're not. On to the next. Now, this one was kind of funny, and I thought, like, how many times do you rock up to a five-a-side game, right? And then you look at the other side, and you're like, I swear to God, I know that guy from somewhere. And then you later find out he's like an ex-pro. You know, he's gone and played over there. And this has happened quite a lot, but mostly for retired players, right?
Yeah,
Like
yeah.
I did see this week, it's like how annoyed would you be if you rocked up to a Sunday league game and there's Paul Scholes, and Paul Scholes plays in the Sunday league, but he's retired, right?
Yeah.
So, he's a bit overweight, he's probably not as fit, so he's not at the same level. Well, a new one is that they were interviewing Alex Iwobi. Alex Iwobi still rocks up to his mate's five-a-side games
Oh,
and plays.
current Fulham player.
Yes. And he's skinning players in the Premier League. So he goes, so he rocks up under aliases. So he has different names that he rocks up under in disguises. So he'll wear something to hide his hair, and he'll wear like a full mask to cover his face.
Really?
And that type of thing when he rocks up to the game. So no one knows who he is, so that he can just play. Now,
Wow.
he says it's so that he can maintain the love for football.
Yeah.
I maintain that it's his friends just want to win.
Yeah, I would go with the fact that he just wants to ball out on cunts.
Yeah.
He just wants to like rip guys and just like, I'm so good.
Which is, he goes, it's a lot of freedom. Yeah, of course it is. Who's going to get the ball off you, dude?
You're pretty much playing up against statues. Like if you're a Premier League player playing up against Sunday players, you're playing statues.
Yeah, dude. He's just dribbling past them for fun. I don't even think you break a sweat.
I remember when
I can't see the purpose to it.
I'm sure it's just a ball out with his mates. You know what I mean? Like, you get to kick the ball around with your mates and destroy cunts while you're at it.
I mean, on that kind of same topic, right? It's almost like, do you remember Jordan Ibe?
I remember Jordan Ibe, the Bournemouth player, and Liverpool player, right?
He's now playing non-league.
Oh, really?
Yeah, yeah. So,
I mean, to be fair, non-league might be a little bit too low for him, but he wasn't Premier League.
100%. And look, the whole thing was he had mental health problems, right?
Okay.
So he was very depressed.
Yep.
He didn't find the love for football anymore, and I think it was the pressure that he got from it, because obviously, like, he had such a big price tag to his name.
Yeah.
Right? I think, what was that at one stage, 50 million?
From Bournemouth?
From Bournemouth? Was it when, I know we sold him for 15 million out of Liverpool. And
someone was after him, were they?
Someone was after him. I think he had a big price tag to his head. And obviously, he'd never gotten that type of money, right?
Yep.
He only ever, he would have got tens of thousands
in
of
the
pounds
tens,
per week.
In the tens, yeah.
But never at that, 120, 150,000 pounds per week level.
6 figures, yeah.
Yeah, so I think people associate the 15 million with what he's earning, but realistically, he was on almost a junior.
He would have been on like 15, 20K.
Yeah,
a week.
exactly.
I mean, still good money, but not Premier League.
Oh, I mean, there's
Ideal
executives
money.
that are earning more than that type
Yeah.
of thing. So I think that pressure really got to him, and especially because he was blasted into the spotlight at a young age, and he ended up leaving football. And he has come out in an interview, actually, I think it was 2 weeks ago, where they've done a little kind of story on him playing non-league, and essentially going, he's like, yeah, he goes, he lost a love for football. He was at a stage where thought he was going to kill himself. And the thing that saved him is he had a young girl, a fan from Argentina, who messaged him on Instagram saying, please don't kill yourself.
Oh, wow.
Yeah. So that's when he kind of left football, didn't play for 2 years, and now he's kind of reappeared playing in non-league.
I mean, yeah, if you got to do what you got to do, right?
Hey, I mean, if you kind of re-find the love for football and you're able to do that.
And, who knows? In a couple of years, we'll still be doing this, and it'll be like, comeback story.
Maybe.
Yeah.
Maybe. Because I think he'd be 26, 27 now.
I'll have a look, but
Have a look.
he wouldn't be too old.
But yeah, no, look, if that helps Alex Iwobi, not top himself and enjoy football,
Yeah, you do.
all be to it. And to be fair, if you do line up against him, and maybe you're able to skin him once or something, it makes you feel good, I suppose.
Wow, he's not even on this app anymore. Oh, no, there he is, Jordan. He's 29.
Yeah, so I think his career in kind of pro football.
If he plays like championship and might help a team get to the Premier League, that might be a nice little comeback.
Well, I mean, non-league to championship's a big jump.
On Wrexham.
yeah. Look, before we jump into kind of the last weekend's games,
Yep.
Here's another interesting gossip piece. So there has been a scandal, and kind of the police have found guilty this couple that was living in Germany as Russian spies.
Oh, awesome. I love Russian spies.
Yeah. Dude, this one's pretty wild. So they've discovered that the communication between this couple as Russian spies living in Germany,
Yep.
right? The communication was done through YouTube comments. So the reason this is football related is because the Moscow account in which people were sending the messages back was under the name Cristiano Ronaldo.
Oh,
yeah.
Okay.
So it was created in like 2011. So before Cristiano was on YouTube and all that type of stuff.
Okay.
It was on there, and they would comment on Cristiano Ronaldo videos. So essentially,
that'd be the most popular one. So
yeah, exactly right.
You get inside that flooded comment section.
Yeah,
It's pretty smart, actually.
So they would put up the Cristiano Ronaldo video. These two people that were living in Germany would comment on the video to say, "Wow, that's great," and then the Cristiano Ronaldo would comment back to be like, "Yes, what great skill from this devil! He is so fast, the devil." Like that. So just like, weird Russian
code.
stuff.
So that
it was in code,
right?
yeah, 100%.
Yeah,
so what they were sending, we don't know.
Yeah.
But they've managed to capture these two, and apparently the comments to it is that you never suspect them to be anything other than just a regular family. They had normal jobs, normal life, house, they live together. So it's concerning. We don't know what these Russians are, man.
Wow, that's
and apparently they're utilizing Ronaldo.
Very intricate.
As their scapegoat.
Intricate.
Yeah, we get there.
Very intricate. Yeah, that's okay, they found a way to communicate. Sweet.
Yeah,
but they got caught, so
yeah.
Let's see what happens.
Yeah. Well, I don't think there'll be much more than that except to know that the spies among us, man.
There are spies among us, that's for sure, yes.
Yeah. Well, why don't we jump into the Matchday 29?
Yeah, let's do Matchday 29.
We only had 8 games this week.
Only 8 games. I got 5.
I got 4.
Nice.
I'm catching up a little bit. I think I'm 5 ahead of you still.
Still 5 ahead of me, but we got 9 rounds left, so I've got to start making a move.
Oh, yeah.
First game, Everton-West Ham. I had a draw in this game.
I had Everton.
Yeah, I had Everton. That one. Look, I think the reason why I went for draw was because of the Everton's run. They've had, I'll just quickly bring this up, they have had, out of the last 5 games, 4 draws. Out of the last 6 games, 5 draws now.
Yeah.
It's crazy, bro. It's crazy. They just love drawing.
Can I just say, Beto is...
Bro, ever since we put that bet on,
Bro,
That bet that we put on, is
I
just
put him in my
dying.
fantasy team, and he just he scored like 2 goals for me.
Yeah.
And then has now done zero.
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 And it's not like he's not getting chances. He's getting chances.
He's missing.
but he's missing or
It's
going straight to the keeper or something.
insane.
Yeah.
It's like he scored his goals. He's like, well, that's enough.
Yeah.
That's enough.
I've done my bit, right?
And I mean, look, to be fair, West Ham probably should have won this game.
Look, yes, going off the first half, look, I've put down a couple chances of both teams the first half. Pickford did have the harder chances to save.
Yes.
He had the harder chances
Yeah,
to save in
100%.
that one.
They
yeah.
worked him more, way more.
Way more, yeah.
Way more.
So yeah, you are right. And then West Ham did score first. Socek got his goal from Bowen. Bowen, again, building up his stats. His numbers are coming up again.
Yeah.
Assists, goals. He's doing it all for West Ham
it
again.
proves why he's a kind of a great for the club.
Yeah, well, exactly right. Yeah, and then now from there, Everton tried. They finally got their goal in the 91st minute. O'Brien
Again.
O'Brien.
Yeah. Oh, he's waiting for me to do that. Oh, okay.
Yeah, he got his second goal for Everton in the 91st
where's this guy
minute.
come from? I don't know him. I've never heard of him, and all of a sudden he's like pulled Everton out of like.
That's a couple games now he's done that as well.
Yeah.
Well, okay, so he's the right back. He's 23 from Ireland. He played for Lyon last year. Before that, he played in the in Belgium, and then before that, he played for Swindon. So the cunt moves around. But
Well,
hey,
maybe he's fair.
16 games for Everton this year, 2 goals, 1 assist, not bad.
I mean, you can't argue with their stats for a 23-year-old.
Yeah,
But how about where do we stand on the overturned penalty on Beto? So
which one was that?
So Beto turns in the box. 2 players come in
Oh,
to make a tackle.
Yeah,
The referee awards the penalty at
Yeah.
first, and then goes to
that was
VAR.
just before half time, wasn't
Yeah,
it?
and then it goes to VAR.
Yeah,
And VAR overturns it.
I personally agreed with that. I think it was soft. I think it was soft to give the penalty.
My issue is probably not, like, I agree. I think it was very, very soft.
Yeah.
But I think the issue for it is that VAR overturned it.
Yes.
So is that a clear and obvious error?
Well, according to VAR, it's a clear and obvious error from the ref, yeah. But for them to overturn it is massive because we have seen other penalties that should have been overturned. Again, it's the
Correct.
consistency. The consistency is
Correct.
so off.
Well, it's just like, and this is why I argue. I go, the VAR, like, their job is to be there for clear and obvious errors.
Yeah.
And look, obviously, this is the wrong person to be saying it. Joe Barton, right? He's obviously very
Barton.
vocal at the moment around all different things. But he'd come out and he goes, well, I mean, what the fuck do you have why do you have a ref on the field?
Yeah, pretty much.
Why is there, if they just let the guy upstairs do all the reffing, right? And just have a person stand there and blow whistles.
Just have a robot and then the guy upstairs would just check everything and the robot can
Because,
do everything.
like, even linesmen, right? Like, the linesman's job now is to call throw-ins.
Yeah, I know, which is...
Because
It's taken away from having the assistant ref.
Well, because and like we'll get into it like with other games as well, where the ball gets put through, and it happened in the Liverpool PSG game, which we'll go into.
Yep.
But the ball gets put through, and they don't put the flag up, right? Because they're going to
For
wait.
you guys? It's for you guys, right? You're talking about...
It happened multiple times in the game.
All right.
Because obviously you've got two teams that like to play off the quick attack, right? So the ball goes over the top. The linesman, because it looks like it's going to go for an attack or a goal, doesn't put the flag up. But then it doesn't go for a goal. And then the linesman puts up the flag later.
Yeah.
But now the play is playing another way, so they put it down. And I'm like, well, hang on a second. They were offside. So the play should have stopped and restarted because of the offside. You're now essentially saying it because you've got other players that have to run, make a tackle, all these kind of stuff, and they just don't. They're waiting for VAR to intervene. And I'm like, it shouldn't be that way. Because sometimes it's a clear offside. They don't call it.
I think if it's clear as fuck, just put the flag up, right? Just stop wasting our time.
Yeah.
If it's a close one, okay, because this happened ages ago, Tottenham-Chelsea, where they played on, ref put his flag up, and then ended up being a penalty for Tottenham because he actually wasn't offside. So that's where they changed the rule where like they keep their flag down for everything. But if it's so clear and obvious, just put it up, stop wasting our time.
But I also feel like they could just put up their flag, right? They could just put up their flag. The referee can choose to stop the game on it, right? The players should be able to play on. So if they put the flag up, the players know that they've got to play on. They do have an opportunity that it could be offside. Because then if it doesn't go there, if it doesn't go in for a goal, you go back for the offside.
Or what if like the ref, if the linesman puts his flag up saying, I think it's offside, right? And then the ref plays on. If it's a goal, then they go, look, it's offside, he's called it. But if it's not offside,
If it doesn't go for the goal, then you just play the offside.
Yeah, you just play the offside.
Because at the end of the day, no one's going to complain if there's no goal.
Correct, yeah.
If there's no goal or no penalty or no nothing.
Well, actually, you know what would happen, though, is if he put his flag up for offside, then the defenders goes offside, let him do whatever, he scores.
Yeah, but that's on the players.
That's
right?
on the players,
The players
yeah.
are always told to play to the whistle. They're
Correct,
professionals,
yeah.
right? I get it in Sunday League, you wouldn't do that because some bloke punched the linesman.
Yeah.
But in a professional situation, you tell them no. Just don't do that.
Yeah. One last point I want to make about Everton. Ever since David Moyes has been there, undefeated.
Yeah, it is crazy.
It's been
Well, they do come up against us next round at Anfield. We got some revenge.
And there's revenge coming in that game.
Yeah,
I can't wait for that game.
Curtis Jones better start.
Oh, bro, he's going to get red card. I'm putting money on him to get a red card. 2 red cards in 2 games. Next game.
Southampton Wolves?
Southampton Wolves, yeah. So, look, I went Wolves in this game.
So did I.
Look, this game was pretty... Besides the goals, there was nothing.
No.
So...
Well, I mean, you kind of knew that was going to happen. No Cunha there, so less creative up front.
Playing Southampton, who, are doing their thing.
They barely score.
Yeah.
They score if the other team scores.
They score if they have most of their goals are lucky. I mean.
Yeah,
So,
it's mistakes.
mistakes,
They score
yeah.
Mistakes. Like when they scored against us, you got,
Yeah, it was a mistake between
Alisson
Alisson and Van Dijk.
Not communicating well.
But look, I had Wolves in this game. I'm assuming you had Wolves in this game. Larson got his header. I don't know what Ramsdale was doing in that one. He just
I loved it.
He wants out. He wants out of there so bad. He can't wait to go back to Arsenal, sit on the bench.
Well, I bet there were the stats with him, right? He's played for three teams in the last 3 years.
3 years. Probably 4 years.
Yeah. In the last 3 seasons, he played for 3 different teams, all relegated. Every team he plays for.
Bro, what about there's a rumor Chelsea might try and go for him?
Oh, goddamn. You're going to get relegated, dude.
Why, bro? And then, look, Larson got his second in the 47th minute, and then Onuachu got his goal in the 75th minute. Ball came off the post. He put it away, and Wolves won 2-1.
We had Ipswich Forest.
Yeah, again, I had Forest.
Everyone had Forest.
Everyone had Forest in this one.
Just...
This one was a good game, though. I was not expecting a 4-2 game.
Well, I wasn't expecting Ipswich to score.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah.
I was tossing up this week if I put the Forest keeper as captain.
Sells.
Yeah.
Yeah, I put Sells in. Used my wild card, put Sells in, thinking, great choice. To be fair, the only one that I think that kept the clean... Oh, no, Fulham kept the clean sheet. And...
Arsenal
and Man U. Yeah, so all the Saturday games, no clean sheets.
No.
Both teams to score on both of them.
And like in this one as well, Ipswich decide just better score in the 82nd minute.
Yeah, no, shitheads. Milinkovic got his goal in the 35th minute.
Also, I mean, fun stat for Milinkovic in that first half. He essentially had a perfect first half.
Really?
He had 100% pass completion, 100% dribble completion, a goal and an assist.
Yeah. His assist was
half.
just, and literally his assist was hilarious. It's just a long ball,
Yeah.
goes over Woods' head, and Alanga just runs onto it.
Yeah.
Like hectic. I was spewing because I thought it was Sells that booted it.
Yeah.
I was like, yeah, well, that's the keeper spot. Why is the defender doing that?
Yeah.
Piece of shit.
Yeah.
So Alanga then got a double. So one was the one we just spoke about, where Milinkovic got the assist. And then, that was the second goal. His first goal, bro, he just gets the ball from the sideline, and they just let him run, and he just buries it. Can't be giving Alanga that type of space.
No, that's what he likes
Especially
to do.
someone like Ipswich, you know what I mean? You should be double teaming him.
Yeah.
It was, but it was good by Alanga, you know what I mean? Like, man, you got rid of him, and now he's banging in for Forest.
Well, it makes sense. I mean, he's a good English player.
He is a good English player, yeah. Then Kahuste, I think his name is, he turns and shoots in the 82nd minute. That was the Ipswich guy that you were talking about. Jota Silva gets a goal in the 87th minute. Ipswich were pushed up trying to get something, because if they got a goal, made it 3-2, they would just flood it up.
You're in with a chance.
Exactly, yeah. So they just pushed up. And then Hurst got a consolation goal in the 93rd. So, look, as we've been saying all season, we both called at the start, Southampton and Ipswich will both get relegated.
Yeah, I think it was pretty obvious.
I think they've both accepted the fact. At least, look, Ipswich try, but they're the two that we knew were going to get relegated. Where are we going after that?
Man City Brighton?
All right, so I had City in this one.
I had Brighton.
And ended up being a draw. Ended up being a pretty good game as well.
It was a pretty exciting game. I think there's some good goals in it too, right?
There were some good goals, yeah.
I mean, Haaland got on the score sheet finally.
Yeah, look,
Penalty.
off a pen. Marmoush got fouled in the box. And Marmoush you can see he's starting to get involved more in the play now. He's starting to understand how to play.
Well, I think he's understanding the system that he
Correct,
has to sit in and what his role is in the system. Because I think you can tell. Like he's obviously got the ability and the skill to be able to beat players.
Yes.
He can definitely score a goal.
He can bang in goals,
right?
yeah.
This is why I want him.
Which we will talk about later.
Yeah, exactly right. But yeah, look, the penalty for Haaland, I was sitting there hoping that he missed it because he's had 2 misses this season. The crossbar for one, he's had 1 save.
Yes, yeah.
And then I'm like, he's definitely going the way that hasn't been done yet. And then he went, I think, to his left or something like that. Gets it in the bottom corner, sends the keeper the wrong way.
Yeah, gets his goal. Then Estupiñán's free kick. This was mad.
It was a great free kick.
Cracker
Keeper
free
didn't
kick.
even move, dude.
I think it was Ortega, right?
Yeah.
I think Ortega was the keeper.
He did one of those like, it's going wide, and it just goes off the post.
Off the post and in, yeah. It was beautiful free kick by
shut
Estupiñán. And then just before halftime, Mamouche gets his goal. Fucking cracker shot.
Yeah.
Outside the box, crack the fuck out of it.
Yeah.
And you're like, all right, well, that's what we're seeing is what Mamouche is capable of. And I think this year will be like a build up for next season.
Mm-hmm.
Now, if they make Champions League, he'll be very competitive. But if they play like Europa League, they could fucking dominate in the Europa League.
I mean, you tip them to win Europa League
to win the whole
if they
thing.
don't make Champions League. Yeah, for sure.
Look, João Pedro just before halftime missed a massive chance to make a 2-2 just before halftime. Like, he's been on fire too. I was not expecting that from João Pedro.
No.
Yeah. And then we go into the second half. Kushinov, the new kid.
Man, he's copping it.
He's copping it, bro.
But to be fair, he's been.
I feel sorry for him. He's like 18 or 19.
He's been put into like a very senior position
and starting like
you know
straight
what?
away.
I think given their performances, this is what you want to do, right? Like they go, okay, we're not fighting for any trophies.
Yep.
We've got this player that let him make his mistakes now.
Yeah, definitely.
I think that obviously
for someone of that age too, like it's a good learning experience for him.
So it was a pretty bad own goal though, right?
Oh, he's 21.
It's a pretty bad own goal though. It just deflected, hits him, and you can see the disappointment on his face.
It's one of those things where as soon as it hits you, you can see what's going to happen. You just go, oh fuck, it's like, whatever.
Yeah.
But there were still more chances after this. It was 2-2 at this stage.
There was heaps of chances.
Nico Gonzalez, his header hit the post,
dude.
I'm like, bro, it was. You could just see both teams were really pushing for that winning goal. No one was stopping, which was great to watch. And then this one killed me. Baleba, 82nd minute, they square it on the penalty spot, and he fucking sends it. He sends it over the stadium.
When I was like watching it, I'm just like, Brighton should have won this.
Yes,
right. They should have won this on that because if you give that to anyone like João Pedro or whatever,
you put João Pedro there, you put Welbeck there,
he's scoring it.
They're banging it in.
That. To be fair, you put Welbeck there, 100%.
It's going in.
That's what he does.
Yep.
He comes up, it's like, hey, we've seen Welbeck this game. Goal.
Yeah.
Right at the end, gets the win.
Just the stat on this game: Brighton actually had more shots than City.
Oh yeah.
Away from home. They had 6 big chances in this game, and they missed all 6 of them. So they don't include the free kick, and they don't include the own goal as big chances, right? Brighton had 6 big chances in the game out of 15 shots. Right, the efficiency on that team is out of control.
That's what I mean.
And I think City were lucky to walk away with a point.
I think they were too.
Yeah,
I think they were too. I really think that. Brighton should be picking up more points than they do.
Well, they're doing. Look, to be fair, Brighton are coming 7th at the moment. They're only 2 points away from 4th.
Hey,
this season, like the top 4 is going to be like you guys have got that. I think Arsenal and Forest are looking pretty safe. That 4th spot is wide open.
100%.
So wide open. Chelsea's on 49, City's on 48, Newcastle, Brighton 47, Fulham 45, Villa 45, Bournemouth 44. That's your top 10.
Yeah.
There's 5 points between 10th and 4th.
It's insane.
It's going to be a really tight race for that 4th spot.
I mean, look, you'd obviously think City will be able to get in there, but given their current performances, you don't know.
Yeah, I know. You just don't know this year.
You think. I mean, you'd want to think Newcastle will be able to get into.
Well, they haven't. They've got a game in hand.
Yeah.
So they will actually jump up to 4th if they win.
I mean, if I was going to tip anyone, I think Newcastle will.
I think they're probably playing the best, most consistent football, and I think with that Carabao Cup win, which we will get into, could be that extra injection that they needed.
Yeah, for sure.
Where to next? Bournemouth, Brentford. All right, so this was Brentford 2-1.
Yeah,
great win by Brentford. Janelt, I think that's how you say his name. Janel. He own goal. Sucks for him. Nice name. Shit own goal.
Yeah, well, that was off a Kirk's assist technically.
Technically,
It was a
yeah,
good
we'd
cross
call
by
that
Kirkes.
technically, yeah.
But yeah, I mean, trying to block the ball just knocks it in.
That's it,
It's
yeah.
unfortunate.
Yeah, it sucks, right?
Hey, look, this game again, I had draw. It could have went either Brentford win, Bournemouth win, or
this
a draw.
game
It could have
was
went any
anywhere.
one of the
It
results.
was anywhere.
Because, I mean, you look at it on the thing, you think own goal, and then obviously Brentford gets 2.
Yep.
So you think, like, Brentford with a better team? I don't think so.
Bro, I think it was a very, very even game. Like, if we have a quick look at the stats, right? Look, Bournemouth had more shots on target, but you look at the missed chances. I think what the big thing was is that Brentford were more efficient. They had two big chances and they didn't miss them.
No, but they generally don't, right?
They're very efficient, yeah.
That's what they've been this season, is that their strikers they've got up front, whether it's Wissa and Mbembo or Schade.
And those two combined for the Brentford goal.
Yeah, correct.
Yeah.
And it's just like they obviously know how to play with each other.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah,
no homo.
No homo. They obviously know like how to play in combination with each other.
That's bro, that's way better than with each other.
So
you've been boning up, I see.
Yeah.
No homo.
But no, I mean obviously they combined for Wissa's goal.
Yep.
And
mad cross by Mbembo. His corner. But a wicked cross.
Yeah. And and then when they finish it, they're in the right position. They know where each other's going to be.
Yep.
They just put it in the back of the net.
Yeah. Now I was kind of spewing this game because I had both teams to score 2 or more goals, right?
Mm-hmm.
Now at this stage it's 1-1, but I had Kirkes to get a goal or assist. He got it. I had Mbembo and Wissa to get a goal or an assist, and that happened in the same goal.
Yeah.
So I'm like, heck, all I needed was Kluivert. 47th minute, Semenyo hits the post of a Kluivert cross.
Yeah.
And I'm like, you motherfucker.
And I love the commentator in that as well. The commentator
What did he say?
Goes, well, that's the story of Bournemouth's season.
He did say that.
Yeah. And
Asshole.
I'm like, oh, it really is though.
It really is.
It's almost like Bournemouth the opposite of Brentford. Brentford is super efficient, so they may not create as many chances, whereas Bournemouth create so many chances.
Yeah.
And they just constantly miss, like the likes of Semenyo, Kluivert,
Christie.
Christie, man. I'll put him in my damn team, dude. Far out. I swear, if you want the teams to lose, just let me put him in my fantasy.
Hopefully they don't go for Darwin Núñez, because imagine he goes there.
Oh,
just
God.
ultimate misses.
Yeah. Their chance creation goes through the roof. They go there. These guys are missing 12 big chances a game.
They've doubled since Darwin Núñez has been there.
Yeah.
But look, at this stage it's 1-1, and then 70th minute, Norgard, who has been really good for Brentford this year.
He has.
He gets his goal off a long throw.
Yeah.
Nothing wrong with a long throw.
No,
Nothing wrong
dude,
with a long ball.
Long
Nothing
ball,
wrong with a
long
long throw.
I support him.
I support it too,
I support him 100%. I feel like if the likes of Ipswich and Leicester were doing more of them, I think they'd have more goals and more wins.
Yeah. Look, we'll jump into the Chelsea game. This was, I'll just sum it in one word, boring.
Terrible.
So boring to watch.
Dude.
It really disappoints me to see how far we have fallen from where we used to. Not just us, but even Arsenal in general. Like, this used to be like, not a North London derby, but it was still a massive game because it was 2 London teams in the top 4.
Mm-hmm.
Now, this was second versus fourth. This should have been balls to the wall, like all guns blazing type of game. And it, like, there was a couple of dirty fouls from Chelsea, from especially West Fofana. But other than that,
well, I think it's the
really
argument.
happened.
It's like, should he have been on the pitch still? Because I think they were saying, I don't think he did anything where it's just like dangerous play or anything.
I think it was a build-up, right?
It was a build-up. It was a build-up of fouls. And I think they did a tracker in the game. And I don't think he received a yellow until like his 4th.
Yeah. So
Right?
the ref was being very lenient.
Yeah.
Very
and I'm
lenient,
like, well, I can't really blame that, right? If he hasn't got a yellow card, why would he stop doing the tackle?
Yeah, exactly. The ref has set a precedent, right?
Correct. So he's allowed him to do it. And then there was a couple after the yellow card, I think 2 or 3, where he pulled a player down.
I think that was just before the yellow, and then he got a yellow after that.
Yeah.
So again, the tugging of the shirt should have gotten a yellow, but the ref let it go, and he copped one on the next foul.
Yeah.
So is what it is.
Yeah, I know. I mean, it seems weird that like should he stayed on the field? I'm like, well, I mean, that's on the ref.
I mean, if you want to go like, all right, yeah, if you could say like, all right, if he gets a yellow card at the very start, maybe he changes how he plays.
You're exactly right.
But because he wasn't getting yellow cards, why would you change the way you play?
I wouldn't.
Yeah. So look, these are the notes I got. Marino got his goal on the 19th minute off a corner. It was fucking, who the fuck scores like that?
Yeah,
And there's no one, like, I don't know.
That's set piece, coach, baby. Lucky they got him.
Jeez, fucking and then my other point is few chances, boring game. Sanchez with more errors, bro. This guy,
That kick out that he did, I think
he passed it straight to the Arsenal guy.
Yeah, I think it was Declan Rice.
It was Rice or Odegaard.
Rice or Odegaard. He just they're
you can see where he wanted
midfielders.
to go too. Sanchez is like, I'm going there, and whoever it was just goes, yeah, thanks.
Yeah,
Hectic.
thank you. Oh, I'm also in heaps of space because there's no one there.
No one
they're
there.
bombing up the field.
I had no idea who he was
It's
passing
shocking.
to.
It's shocking. And I have seen now where he's just saying, oh, well, if I'm not in the plans next season, I want to go somewhere else.
I'm so glad he said that, because now we can go, great, you're not part of our plans. We now have precedent to go, look, you're not going to be part of our plans this year.
Yeah.
We were thinking about it, but you don't want to be part of our plans, so we're going to let you go, which is great.
I mean, look, and he should go.
Yeah.
I think only one other point, right? There's not much in the game, but
Yeah.
the Arsenal
No, there
fans,
wasn't.
The Arsenal fans racially abusing Wesley Fofana after
Yeah.
the game on Instagram.
Bro,
Right?
and bad.
Yeah.
Like, bad, yeah.
You know, calling him a ninja.
Ninja, yep.
Work that one out.
Yep.
And
if you don't get it, follow 50 Cent.
yeah. and then also using the monkey emoji.
Bro.
It's insane.
Bro, it's so out of pocket, bro.
But also, Arsenal fans are renowned for this, right?
They have a
They really are.
history.
They've done it to their ex-players. They've
Yep.
done it to opposition
I know they did
players.
to Tottenham
They do it
players.
to all the Tottenham players.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah.
And
They try to be all fucking high and mighty, like
Yeah.
they're a top club. But I mean, like, every club has a few bad apples. I get it.
Yeah.
But this is a consistent thing with Arsenal fans.
I mean, we've seen bloody Arsenal fan TV.
no, we've seen it, bro.
Yeah, we've heard them rant.
Yeah, they're delulu, bro.
Yeah, the delusion.
But look, personally, I think Arsenal did deserve the game. They did create more out of what minimal shots there were,
Yeah.
minimal chances.
yeah,
Chelsea looked daft of ideas. So this whole Maresca ball, I think you called this like 2 or 3 weeks ago. When Nicholas Jackson went out, it stifled our attack.
well,
It's crazy how
don't have a link up.
important he was.
Well, you don't have a link up.
No.
I always found Cole Palmer and him were able to link up very well.
Yeah.
And I think outside of him, you actually don't have another striker.
Well, no, we don't. We did have this young kid, Marquis, but he got injured the same week as Jackson got injured. And he was a pretty good player. He came from Barca for like 6 mil and he was playing really well. But he got injured and he broke his leg or something. He's out for 3 months.
Yeah.
So we had to resort to putting Nkunku up front, and that never worked because he kept dropping into Cole Palmer's space. And then we're trying now Neto up front. And like, I feel sorry for Neto because he's a great winger. He's not a striker.
No, he's not.
Yeah.
And again, they're the teams with no strikers. They struggle.
They struggle. Yeah.
We're struggling now in the back half because we don't have a striker, an
Yeah.
out-and-out striker. If Yotta's out of form, we're screwed.
And I've got a great point on your strikers when we get to your game.
All
right. Let's go to the Fulham game. So look, I had a draw in this. Fulham won.
I had a draw in this too.
Yeah.
But this was surprising.
Yeah, this one actually was looking like it was going to be a draw. I actually thought that
But it was boring as shit.
the first half was terrible.
Shocking.
First half was so bad. Literally, my note here is first half, no highlights. There was nothing to write about.
No.
Second half, though, look, Solanke had a couple good chances in the second half. You can still see he's trying to work his way back into fitness, trying to get his bearings back.
He's supposed to be an out-and-out striker, and I do think that's his best position.
Yes.
But there was one point in the game, I think it was 50-odd minute or something like that.
Mm-hmm.
Tottenham get a break,
Mhm.
right? Son takes the ball, beats a player, and then they're on a break. It was like a kind of a 3-on-3 situation, right?
Mm-hmm.
Fulham had 3 players back. They're on the break. Solanke makes a run down the outside, and he's calling for the ball. Son takes it inside. Solanke gets the shits, throws his hands in the air, and then Son plays it out wide to Bergvall.
Yep.
Now, I'm sitting there going, nah, dude, you're a striker. Why do you want the ball there?
Out wide.
Yeah, why would you want the ball out wide on a break like that? Were you going to beat your player on the dribble, come inside, beat another player, because you're obviously going to have to beat 2 from that position. And then what happens with the play? Bergvall gets in there, puts a cross in, Solanke gets a header, which he puts wide. And I'm like, well, dude, that's where you want the ball as a striker. You want the ball as the last person in the play. Why the fuck would you want the ball on the break? It makes no sense.
Yeah. He should be the one on the end of it.
Yeah, correct.
Not in the build-up. You have to be on the end of it. That's your position.
And it's almost like, oh, the play's over because they didn't give him the ball. And I'm like, well, that's the problem with you then. because you should know that ball's going to go wide and then come back in for you.
Yeah, exactly.
So
Son's done the right thing.
Yeah.
Bergval's done the right thing. You haven't.
no, that's what I mean. I mean, and you did get there, but you didn't execute when you got the ball. So the point where you want the ball, you didn't do anything. So why would I give it to you earlier? Confusing.
And then look, 78th minute, Munoz. 78th minute off the bench gets his goal, and that
He's had a good season.
he's having a very good season. It's like not like Raul, but he's scored goals in important games, like where they needed it. And then Sessegnon gets his goal in the 88th minute against his old club. Didn't celebrate, which was nice. But fucking Ben Davies, bro. How this guy still has it? How he still look? I understand why he's there, because Tottenham don't have anyone when they were out. He was obviously going to be benchy. Rez was going to be there for the shit games, playing way more games than he should. He got put on the bitch against Sessegnon. He gronked him in that one.
Yeah, dude. Well, that's the thing. Again, he's a player that probably in a smaller team, but does his best.
Yeah, he does what he can, but obviously,
it's like Ange does with
the worst part is that like he is definitely not meant for Ange ball. When you play Ange ball, your defenders have to be really solid because you got no protection in front of you, really.
Well, yeah, exactly right.
Yeah, and last game was Man U. Look, I had Man U. If they played Leicester, we all knew how this one was going to go. But look, Ericsson had his shot off the post in the 23rd minute, and then Højlund finally gets a goal. It's his first goal since December.
Hey,
he got
I feel
one
for him, dude. But you know what he did this time? He actually ran 2 goals.
He did run to goal.
When the ball came into him, I almost saw him run to the right and run away from goal. And I'm like, he's not going to do it.
Don't do it. Don't do it.
He comes inside and takes a shot, and it was a good finish.
Yep, it was.
And
It actually was a good finish. Yeah.
That's what he should be doing.
Yep. Garnacho had a goal in the 57th minute, was called offside, and then 10 minutes later he gets his goal. Celebrated the exact same way, which I thought was really funny. He gets his goal, he runs to this spot and does where he sits on the fence, offside. He scores 10 minutes later. He literally took the same steps and sat in the exact same spot and did the exact same celebration. I thought that was funny. And then Fernandes gets his goal in the 90th minute. Bro, he's on fire at the moment.
Hey, he's the only one who's able to do anything with that team.
100%. He got 2 assists and he got a goal.
Yeah.
Killed it.
Well, what I did find pretty amazing was the block from Matthias Ligt.
The block?
The block.
Woo!
But
that was,
if you
nice.
saw before that play, Harry Maguire get put on his ass.
I didn't say that. I didn't say that.
So, yeah, he does a little, I can't remember what player it is, does a little shimmy. Maguire just goes on his ass, breaks his ankles, and they just go through. To be fair, they probably should have scored off it, but Delete did some great defending. But
that is fucking Harry Maguire, mate. When you're top heavy, like with your big forehead, it's hard. You know what I mean? Like you're a big bobblehead.
We got school.
Let's get into Champions League though. Bro, round of 16, and we actually said this was going to be a really interesting round of 16.
Yeah,
bro,
and it definitely was.
What a fucking round of 16 this was.
Well, I mean, look, Arsenal PSV was obviously the first game, and there's not a lot to say here.
Nah,
right?
Look,
we all knew what was going to happen.
They won 7-1 in the first leg.
So. And then look, a 2-2 draw in the second when they played, half their team essentially.
They did. They put out a second string team, which was the right thing to do.
100%. Ended at 2-2. Now, Atletico Madrid, Real Madrid.
Bro, okay, so
dude.
the first leg was 2-1 to Real Madrid. Great game. That's where fucking striker's name,
Julian Alvarez put that curler
in, right?
Insane.
The second game, bro, Conor Gallagher scores in 30 seconds?
Yeah,
or 28, 25
so
seconds.
Much.
No, look, I appreciated how much energy he puts into it. And I said he was going to be a great Simeone player. And he is. Simeone loves him. He is a fucking energizer bunny. We needed someone to pass around. But for Simeone, that's a big one. Get out. There you go. Thank you. Thank you. For Simeone, he's perfect. Fucking energy, passion. Like, the guy doesn't stop. And it's perfect for what Simeone wants in their team. But, yeah, they scored after 28 seconds.
Yeah.
And the rest of the game. Now, I watched this game. This was, for a 1-0 game, so good to watch.
Well,
the atmosphere.
You had everything in the game.
Had everything. But they
had chances that were missed.
Great saves. Missed penalty. Vinicius missed his penalty, which... Bro, have you seen the videos of Mbappe and Bellingham in that game?
No.
Bro, okay, so in the game, Vinicius, he always does this, right? Gets his ball on the left and tries to cut in or do some shit. And Mbappe's like, give me the ball, give me the ball, give me the ball, I'm in space. Doesn't give him the ball. Then Jude Bellingham, give me the ball, give me the ball, give me the ball. Doesn't give it to him. They both get the shits about it, right? Then there's at one stage where he's got the ball, he's got 3 guys on him, he tries to rip them all, loses it. Jude Bellingham runs back, gets the ball, takes it out for a throw in, right? But so it stops the open play, and he's banging on the ground, blowing up at Vinicius Jr.
But dude, again, where they keep trying to say Vinny Jr.'s Ballon d'Or, he's not, dude. He's the biggest ball hog that there is.
Yeah.
And I'm sorry, he's not like Ronaldinho. He's not like Messi. He's not
Neymar.
like even Neymar.
No.
Right? Because he cannot rip a player like they used to. He relies heavily on speed.
Yep.
And he's
yeah.
And for his size, he's quite strong.
Yes.
Right? And he relies on that. If a player can match his speed, he's pretty much useless.
Yeah.
Pretty much useless.
If you can keep him in the right position, like where he can't use his speed as much, he loses a lot of his ability. Yeah. But then this game ends up 1-0, goes to penalties, which was, intense.
Yeah.
Intense is probably a light way of saying it. This was so good to watch. But Alvarez has his penalty, slips, goes in. VAR have a ball monitor in the ball.
Well, no, it's the monitor that's inside the ball for their goal line technology.
Yes.
Can sense when it's been touched.
Correct, yes.
So they were able to feel that it had been touched twice.
And if I don't know if you've seen the video, it is minuscule.
It's a bee's dick touch.
It's a bee's dick touch, exactly right.
They're now apparently saying they want to change the rule.
What's the rule?
Well,
like the double touch rule.
right?
So what do they want to change?
So they want to change it that obviously if a player comes in, he slips, and it's
like an unintentional one,
unintentional touch, and it's very minuscule, then it would still count as a goal.
That's fair. If it's an unintentional one, totally get it. It's like an unintentional handball. You know what I mean? Like, you don't get
he's
the penalty
running to
for
do it. He slipped. Technically, it's a disadvantage to Julian Alvarez to control the ball because he slipped. And I mean, it's harsh. You know,
well, this is where I find the harsh part, right? Is from what I understand, is that if he missed that penalty, it doesn't count. But because he touched it twice and went in, I'm pretty sure he should have retaken that penalty.
So it would have been.
He should have retaken it. Instead of it being a miss, he should have retaken it.
Yeah, but it's Real Madrid.
I think that's, you know what? I think that's probably a fairer rule.
That they should retake.
If you double touch it and it goes in, you retake it. But if you double touch it and miss, you miss.
I could see that being a more fair.
I think that's a more fair way of saying it because, like, look, you've accidentally cheated. Let's just redo it.
Yeah.
So Real Madrid eventually go through. Who missed? Lucas Vazquez missed, so that put them down to 1-1. And then who missed for Atletico? The other one, Llorente.
Yeah,
Llorente missed straight away, and then the young. And then who buried the last one? Oh, Rudiger.
Yeah.
Rudiger. And then did you see the crowd after? Did you see Real Madrid's antagonizing the crowd?
They started throwing bottles at.
Bro, to be fair, if they started,
Jude Bellingham headed one of them.
I saw that. Yeah, bro, it was crazy. I've seen, and then Courtois walked down the thing, and he's G'ing up the crowd too because he's the next Atletico player.
Yeah,
G'ing up the crowd, and they're throwing shit at him. He's walking down. Bro, it was one of the best games I've seen all year.
Yeah.
We called it. We knew it was going to be
one of the
best. Atletico, I know everybody, they've been like the bridesmaid for so long. Everybody expected it to kind of be the same.
I thought it was going to be their year, to be fair.
Bro, they looked really good in this. I kind of feel sorry that they had to come up against Real Madrid in the first game. You know what I mean? In the round of 16. Because I feel if they had got a softer draw, bro, they would have made semis easy.
Yeah. Well, I mean, now given those two results, we're going to see Arsenal versus Real Madrid in the next round.
And look, without a striker, look, I know.
Listen, I see Real Madrid absolutely destroying Arsenal.
Yeah, look, I can't see them being able to, 1, hold out Real Madrid, 2, being able. Look, maybe at the Emirates it might be a low scoring game, but I just can't see them scoring without, 1, a striker, and 2, I know a lot of Arsenal fans saying, "Oh, Saka's going to come back." What, you're going to come back from a 3-month layoff and just play Real Madrid?
Yeah,
bro.
Do what?
Yeah,
Rudiger's going to hurt you.
Yeah, Rudiger's going to smoke him. Mendy's going to be all over him. You know what I mean? Then you're going to have Chouameni and Camavinga covering as well.
I don't. I don't see Arsenal being able to do anything.
No.
If they score a goal, I think that'll.
I think that'll be impressive
Yeah.
if they could score a goal.
Yeah. So I mean, I don't see any result other than Real Madrid winning both legs.
Yeah. I'm with you on that.
Well, then we've got the next games.
Yeah. Do you want to take this?
Yeah. Fucking disappointing, dude. This was the first disappointment of my week as well. Fuck with, man. Look, we played. Okay, obviously the first leg, PSG fucking destroyed us.
Correct.
Right?
Yeah.
Completely destroyed us. The one credit I give us in that game is that our defense.
Besides Allison.
Yeah, obviously Allison was man of the match, but
Yeah.
our defense in the aspect of clearing the ball and scrambling was on fucking point. So they may have got their shot away. Most of them were outside the box, except for the first half.
Yeah, first half was...
We definitely had to adapt in the second.
Yeah.
But we really kept them from shooting from outside the box.
Yeah.
What we couldn't do is complete a pass.
Yes.
We went into the second game and we really flipped the script. Obviously at Anfield, so we obviously played a lot better.
You had
at
the
Anfield.
12th. You had the 12th man. You had the Anfield crowd. Yeah.
Yeah. And we were, especially the opening 10 minutes, destroying PSG.
Yeah.
They couldn't get the ball out of there, couldn't get the ball out. We kept retaining
You
possession.
pressed.
And we were
crazy.
pressing them. Yeah.
Yeah.
We were getting him. Salah had 2 opportunities in the opening 10 minutes, killed one wide.
He had one in his spot too. Comes in, cuts in, and then has it.
I saw it. I'm like, yes. And then he missed. And I'm like, that's insane.
Yeah.
He's missed like 2 of them this year. I can't believe it.
His miss ratio would be really low.
Yeah.
Really low.
And then, their goal was fundamentally heartbreaking. Okay.
Dembele, yeah.
Look, they've come in and look, there's an argument of Kanate didn't touch the ball. Would Allison have got there?
Would Dembele have got there if Kanate didn't touch it?
I don't know.
There's a lot
right?
of bodies in there.
I don't know, but I want my centre back to always go for the ball.
Correct,
Okay,
yeah.
that's what I always want. It didn't work out for us this time. Dembele gets the world's easiest tap in. Fuck. Okay, there's obviously an argument that came out after the game saying Barcola was offside. That's actually come out. They've released the semi-automatic thing. He was onside.
He was onside.
He was onside.
Okay. Because there was I remember there being like he was offside. But
he was
to be
offside.
fair, the photo that they showed was like far away.
Correct,
Blurry as fuck.
And the whole argument was they never showed the semi-automatic
yes.
thing.
Which we would assume, being such a high stakes game, that
You
they
would
should
constantly-
show, and being so close,
Yes.
you would just show it just
But
to be
this-
like, guys, this is clarification.
This was also part of the game, which I started getting the shits with the linesmen, because they're not flagging these offsides. Now, there were a few minuscule offsides, both for us and for them, where they weren't flagging them. Now, to their opportunity that was coming down the other end, they weren't flagging it. There was a foul down the other end, and then they were getting a free kick. And they were under pressure. I'm like, hang on a second, he was fucking offside.
Right.
So why are we
Yeah,
not coming
yeah.
back for the offside? Because they've waited for VAR, who hasn't intervened, because there's nothing to intervene on. But how far back do you go?
That's always the question: is how far back do you go?
Correct.
Yeah.
So look, it obviously the game ended a draw. Ended
Well,
1-0
PSG
win
won
for
1-0. Yeah.
PSG and draw over the 2 legs. Goes in extra time.
So before we get into penalties, Before we get into penalties, I was going to say this was a great game to watch. Both teams pressed. They pressed for 120 minutes.
Yeah,
Plus,
it was crazy.
you go into the 90 minutes before, 210 minutes of just pressing from both teams. I thought that obviously PSG in the first leg, but this game at Anfield was...
Well, especially our midfielders.
Bro, their mids did not stop.
No.
Soboslai looked fucked
Yeah.
at the end of the... because he came off
He did
before...
something like 18 kilometers in the game.
Bro, that is unreal.
Yeah.
Unreal.
Well, I mean, look, and it showed that both teams really wanted to win it.
Fuck yeah.
And I think, and look, I'm making the call from here. PSG's my team. I think PSG have the best chance to win it. That's who I'm picking to win from here. Because the way that they played, and I knew this was going to be the hardest game for them.
Yeah.
Given their attacking prowess, there's no better attacking team
Yep.
than PSG. And Vitinha in the midfield
Bro,
is a
super
magician.
underrated. Super underrated.
Super underrated.
Yeah.
Remember he was at Wolves?
I do remember he was at Wolves.
He was
yeah.
at Wolves, and Wolves didn't want him.
Yeah. And
Wolves
now
were
look
like,
at him.
oh,
Now look
yeah,
at him.
now
He's at
look at
fucking
him.
PSG.
He's been utilised correctly.
Yeah,
You know what
exactly.
I mean? But yeah, look, went to penalties. Look, PSG, I mean, look, Allison almost saved the first penalty, got some fingers on it. It went
Yes,
through
he
his
just
fingers.
missed it. Yeah.
Disappointing. He didn't get anywhere near any other penalties from PSG.
No, they got the rest of them.
Salah steps up, put his penalty away like a professional.
Yep.
Unsavable. And
Unsavable,
then
yep.
who stands up? Darwin fucking knew.
As soon as you saw him, what
I
were you
knew he
thinking?
was going to miss.
Yeah.
I knew as soon as he stepped up, I'm like, fuck. To be fair, that's the first penalty he's missed in his professional career.
Really?
He's had 12 penalties, missed one.
Well, the one that the guy that he's come up against was Donnarumma. Now, Donnarumma had a great game.
6 foot fucking... What? No, did he though?
He had a good... I think he had a great game.
Listen,
He
keeper's catch.
Yes.
He
yes.
did not catch one.
Not in the 120 minutes.
In the 120 minutes, he
Yeah.
did not catch a ball. He punched every ball. And to be fair, we just needed a player following it up to be able to score it. Right? Allison, in the previous game, where he got man of the match, he caught everything.
He did.
He caught everything, did not allow a follow-up. Whereas Donnarumma was punching everything. I give more credit to his centre-backs for getting the ball out on the second occasion.
Marquinhos and... Pacho, yeah.
Because, yes, made the saves.
Made the saves, yeah.
But didn't catch nothing.
No, that's fair. But I just go off, look, he kept the clean sheet at Anfield. He made a lot of saves. But like you said, he didn't catch him.
He just parried the ball out.
Yeah.
Right? And I think they got lucky in this game like we did in the first game. Right? You're going to make your own luck and you're going to play as hard as you can to get that luck. But, yeah, look, it was disappointing. Obviously, I didn't want to lose in the manner that we lost in.
It's a shit way to lose.
But again, we won in the same manner in the previous game.
Correct, yeah.
So,
yeah.
It sucks.
Yeah.
And that was the start of my shit week, man.
Yeah. But look, I will give credit to Donnarumma. He's got an amazing record in penalties.
Oh, he's 6'7".
Well, yeah, before this he was 5 from 6.
Yeah.
So he's lost one penalty shootout in his career. And like, I mean, I'm wearing the jersey, but we won the Euro back off his penalty saves against Saka. Well,
I will say that he does kind of look like an Italian ultra. He's got the
he does look like an ultra now,
He's got a scar on his face. He's got the black under his eyes. He's losing his hair.
Cunt's copped it, bro.
Yeah, dude.
Fuck, he's copped it.
He's copped it bad.
Yeah.
And then didn't he get kicked in the face afterwards in the actual French league?
Well, he got booted in the face
For the scar.
and that's how he got the scars.
No,
and
but
shit,
I think in the French league after this game,
did he?
got booted in the face again.
Poor cunt, bro. Fuck, he cops it.
Yeah.
But look, very good win for PSG. Now they come up against Aston Villa.
Well,
now let's quickly run through this one. This one was kind of
look, it was a 6-1 aggregate,
yes,
right, with Aston Villa. Look, good for Aston Villa, right? Like I want them to go far in the Champions League because it's good for the English league. But I mean, against Club Brugge, you expect them to smoke them.
Look, Club Brugge got a red card in the 17th minute, and as soon as that happened, you're like, it doesn't matter.
Yeah,
I mean, to be fair, we all pretty much knew it was going to be Aston Villa going through anyway because they won 3-1 in the first leg. But yeah, after that red card, you're like, well, now it's like 100% certified.
Yeah, and I think
sorry.
PSG, Aston Villa in the next round. All I think is it's going to be PSG.
PSG, I think it'll be a high-scoring PSG win.
Yep, I think so too. And then you're going to see Real Madrid, PSG,
which will be a crazy semi-final. That will be a crazy semi-final.
Yep.
All right, who we got next?
Then we've got Barcelona, Benfica.
Yeah, look, Benfica. Barca won 3-1 in this game. It was 1-0 away from home.
They won with 10 men away from home in the first game.
They did.
Did we think it was going to be any different when they went home?
It was 1-1 after 13 minutes. Look, Rafinha got another goal. Who I'm going to throw this out there. The guy could win the Ballon d'Or.
Well, depending where they finish up in the league and they finish up in
they're winning. They're
League.
coming first in the league at the moment, right? Very tight, but they're winning the league. They're looking real competitive in the Champions League, and they're still in the Copa del Rey. They could win 3 trophies. And who would you back? There's 2 players to back in that for Ballon d'Or. You got Rafinha, you got Yamal. Those 2 have been killing it this year.
It has to be Rafinha over.
I think it should be Rafinha.
It has to be because
Yamal will get his chance.
I think he's top scorer in the Champions League. Is he not?
He scored 11 goals in the Champions League.
That's insane.
Yeah,
that's like Ronaldo level Champions League goals, right? And he won all those Ballon d'Ors for a reason.
Correct. Yeah.
So I think if they go far, if they make the final even, right? I think
if they win the league. Say they win the Copa del Rey and make the Champions League final, that's screaming for Ballon d'Or.
It's hard to argue against it.
Correct, yeah.
It's hard to argue against
it. Well, he got 2 goals in this game, and then Lamine Yamal got the other goal. So they won 3-1. It was 3-1 at halftime, and then they just cruised after that because they were up 4-1.
4-1 aggregate for him. It was done.
It was done, yeah.
Then we had the Lille Dortmund game.
Now,
this was
game,
close.
Bro, this game was very, very competitive.
Yeah.
So the first leg was 1-1 in Germany.
Mm-hmm.
Second leg, it was 1-1 for a long time in France. And then Dortmund get their goal. Bayer. Sorry,
Bayer,
Lille were
yeah.
up 1-0 after 5 minutes, and then BVB got a penalty in the second half, and they went bang bang penalty. Bayer gets his goal about 10 minutes later, and Dortmund go through. Now, it's good to see Dortmund go through. They've had a tough year in the German league, coming like 8th or something. So, look, it's good for them. They made the quarterfinals. They sacked Sahin a couple months ago as well. They've gotten a little bit better, but now they're coming up against a monster in Barcelona.
I see Barcelona beating him in both legs.
Yeah.
Um,
Look, but Dortmund do play a certain style. It's very attacking. I think that
so does Barcelona, and theirs is better.
No. What I was going to say was Barcelona will take advantage of that open space, and they will pretty much kill them.
Yeah,
in the quarters.
Yeah. They will murder them. But yeah, no, I see Barca going through in that tie with Dortmund.
Yep.
Then the last of the two kind of games, we had Leverkusen Bayern Munich. Now we called this to be like a very tight game.
Well, the previous times they've played each other has been very tight.
Well, it was 0-0 and 1-0.
0-0, 1-0, 1-0 to Leverkusen, shit like that, right?
Yeah.
This Champions League tie was a whitewash.
Well, I mean, you saw, right? Harry Kane had so much space.
Yep.
He was scoring for fun in both legs.
He scored 2 goals in the first game, and then he scored another one in the second
game.
Yeah.
He's scoring for fun against them.
Yep.
They left way too much space. Leverkusen barely had chances, to be honest.
And the chances that they did have, they did not take advantage of them whatsoever. No. So they just seemed real off. I think that the momentum they had from last year is well and truly dead.
Well, I mean, you can't keep that up.
I know that. Like how many? What they kept calling them? Bayern Leverkusen. No,
never losing.
Never losing. That's it. Yeah, never losing. You know what I mean? Like 88th minute, it'll be 1-1 and they'll score a goal. Yeah. But just in this tie, Bayern just had their number.
Yeah.
All over.
And then so they'll go through, and then we had the final game was Inter Feyenoord.
Look, Feyenoord has scored the second goal against Inter.
That's insane. We were looking this up last week, and we thought, like, oh, what have they copped? 3 goals? And we couldn't find the third goal. We're like, oh.
No, they had 1 before this.
Yeah.
1.
Yeah.
And this was a penalty.
Yeah.
So they've conceded 2 goals in 10 games. 1 was a penalty. This is my reasoning for why I think Inter will make the final. I've said it from the start. I think Inter's a dark horse.
Look, also, I mean, Inter haven't really had a big team to kind of
play against.
They're going to play against Bayern now.
Yeah, this will be real competitive.
This is their test.
Yes. Now look, I will say Inter have had, because you have to play top teams in the Champions League group stages. You know how they changed it up. I will find who they played, but like you just look at their record and it's so good to see. So look, they played Monaco, they played Sparta Prague. They played Leverkusen, which they lost, actually. That was the one goal that they conceded, which was in the 89th minute.
Yeah.
Like we said, never losing. They played Leipzig. They played Arsenal, which they beat 1-0. They played Young Boys, and they played Red Star, and they played Man City, and they actually drew 0-0 with them away from home.
If you really think about some of the runs of the other teams, that's probably the easiest run of a group stage that most other teams had to play, right? And the one team who's a full-strength team that they lost to was Leverkusen.
Yeah.
So I'm interested to see how they go against Bayern.
Yeah, it will be because it'll be a very interesting
Bayern's going to be their biggest attacking threat, right?
Yes.
Because I think they versed
a City team that was like in their shit period.
Yeah, literally in the time where they were losing like 5 games in the league.
They didn't win for like 10 games or something.
Exactly right. Yeah. So interesting to see, and I think there's some interesting ties there.
Yeah, it should be good. But look, I actually have Inter in that one. Like I said, I think they'll go through to the final. What do you reckon, Bayern or Inter?
My money's on Bayern. I haven't seen enough from Inter.
Okay.
And I don't think they can stop them from scoring.
Yeah. All right.
So.
All right, now let's quickly run through the Europa League.
Well, I mean, look, Tottenham got through.
It was to be fair, like there's a lot of second-tier teams, but it was very interesting ties.
Well, I mean, I found this interesting. We obviously tipped in Tottenham to go through against AZ, and that was closer than we anticipated.
Yeah, it was because they were up. It was 1-1 because obviously AZ won the first leg 1-0.
Yeah.
Tottenham went up 1-0, which made the score 1-1, and then Maddison gets his goal to put him up 2-1. Then the second half, Cooper Miners gets his goal to make it 2-2 on aggregate. You're like, oh fuck, Tottenham going to do a Tottenham, but Odegaard comes through again, gets his second goal for the game, and Tottenham go through. Now, again, people are giving shit to Ange, but I'm like, bro, they made the quarterfinals. Wait till he gets his players back. Van der Ven and Romero still aren't back yet.
Well, no, Romero's just come back.
Has he just come back?
Romero's just come back.
And I will say Vicario again. You can see he makes such a difference to that team.
There was a bad highlight for Romero against Fulham. He got thrown to the ground by the other Fulham centre back. But no, look, I think this is going to be their biggest test in the Europa League so far.
Yep.
Against Frankfurt. Now, I thought Frankfurt would not do so well. They've just sold Mamush, who was their top scorer.
Yep.
They're kind of, their next big striker that's come through. But they're still managing to score goals. 6-2 aggregate win against Ajax is crazy.
Look, they are coming fourth in the Bundesliga, so they're not pushovers. But Ajax, you would have thought would have been... I thought they would have been a bit more competitive. But yeah, Frankfurt just absolutely smoked them in Germany.
Yeah. And then in the next set of games, we had Olympiacos and Bodo Glimt.
Well, Bodo Glimt won 3-0 in the first legs. That kind of
kills it. That kills it, right? Because now, as soon as you cop a goal, you're pretty much screwed in a second.
Yep.
So Bodo Glimt goes through. Then we had Lazio and Victoria Pleasant. Interestingly enough, 1-1 draw here, dude.
Lazio did what Italian teams do. They get their goal. So it was 1-1. It was 1-0, right, to Victoria Pleasant, right, in the 52nd minute, which made it 2-2 on aggregate. And then Romagnoli, they score off, I think it was off a corner or something. They're up 3-2, and they just fucking put up the wall after that.
Yeah.
But look, Lazio in the first leg, they had 9 men, and they scored a goal in the 98th minute. That goal put them through.
Yeah, essentially.
Yeah.
So now we're going to see the winner of Tottenham Frankfurt, which I think could go either way. I'm going to back Tottenham.
I am going to back Tottenham to go the whole way because I really want to see Ange win a trophy. But look, it's going to be from the looks of the way Frankfurt are playing. This could be a fucking high scoring game. I could see like an 8-8 aggregate.
Yeah. So, and I imagine Lazio.
I imagine Lazio to go through in that other one. Yep.
Now,
this was our dream leg. This is our dream tie.
Yeah.
Rangers, Fenerbahce, and Athletic Club versus Roma, right? Now, look, Jose tried. He did all he could. They lost 3-1 in Turkey, and he bagged the fuck out of his team. They went to Scotland, and they won 2-0, which put the aggregate at 3-3. And everyone's thinking, Jose's done it. The great comeback has happened. Goes to pens, and they lose on penalties, which is so heartbreaking for Jose.
Yeah, but I mean, even then, Roma managed to lose to Athletic.
Yep. Which we're like, oh, so both legs died.
Yeah, the dream was completely murdered.
Look, the Roma game, so it was 2-1. Again, Roma scored in the 95th minute, the last kick of the game, right, to put it up 2-1. Matt Hummels got red carded in the 11th minute. Pretty much killed the tie after that. Athletic scored 3 goals. Nico Williams got a double. And Roma got a penalty right at the end of the 93rd minute. Didn't really matter.
But look, I mean, out of Rangers Athletic Club, I see Athletic Club
going through. Rangers are playing well at the moment. They just beat Celtic in the Scottish League. Doesn't mean shit because they're so far ahead.
Yeah.
But Rangers will be competitive. But look, Athletic Club has some really good players in there. They're always competitive in the Europa League. And the last tie, this one was, Lyon, they won 7-1 on aggregate.
Yes.
We knew that was going to happen.
Yeah.
And but I will give credit to Man U. Look, they went 1-1 in Spain against Sociedad, which was a tough draw.
They came back and were able to actually score goals.
Well, Bruno Fernandes scored goals. He scored a hat-trick in that game. The guy was just fucking
He's the only one doing shit.
He is literally the only one doing anything for that team, and it really showed in this game. He scored a hat-trick, and Dallo got the other one in the 91st minute when it was already done, you know what I mean?
I'd see Lyon beating these guys.
To be fair, Bruno Fernandes did score 3, but he got 2 penalties.
Yeah.
There were 3 penalties in the game, so...
And no, I think Lyon beat them in.
That will be an interesting game. Look, Lyon have got some good attack in their team, so it'll be really, really interesting to see if Man U can try to stifle it. But I agree with you. I think Lyon will be too strong for them.
And then we've got the final. We've got the Conference League.
Yeah, let's just quickly run through this.
We'll just quickly run through this.
Let's run through all the funny names.
Yeah. So Betis go through against Victoria SC.
Yep.
We had...
Hey, they won 4-0 away from home. That's pretty good, like in Portugal.
Yeah.
So good for Betis. I think Anthony scored again. Hey, Bro, he scored like 5 goals, he got like 5
leaves
assists.
and gets better. Then we had Circle Brugge go through. They just kind of snuck through.
No,
the 2-0 win at home.
Well, Jagiellonian went through.
Oh, sorry.
Yeah, because they won. No, you're right. Cercle Brugge did win 2-0, but the first leg was 3-0. So Jagiellonian go through, or however you say their
There you
fucking
go.
name.
You lose 3-0 in the first leg.
You pretty much
Pretty much fucked.
you put yourself on the back foot.
Ah, damn, Lugano lost.
Ah, damn it.
Yeah.
Oh, and penalties too. Damn it.
Damn. I was tipping them. The game was 5-4 though.
Yes, it was 5-4, bro.
It was a 5-all aggregate. That's insane.
It was out of
dude.
control. Actually, I want to bring up how the goals went because it was fucking crazy. So it went 21st, 40, 42, 68, 80. 44, 68, 80. So it ended 3. What was the first leg? It ended 3-2 in the after normal time. No, sorry, 3-all because NK Kelj had a penalty in the 95th minute to send it to extra time, and then they both got a goal in extra time, and then it went to penalties and it finished was it 8-6? I saw 3-1.
3-1.
Finished 3-1. Yeah,
3-1 on pens.
3-1 on pens.
But then we had Fiorentina, Panathinaikos.
Look, Panathinaikos won the first leg 2-1. Everyone's going, that was a bit weird. And then fucking Fiorentina
Win
came
3-1.
out. Yeah,
Get a
sorry,
5-5.
3-2 it was. And then, Fiorentina came out and just fucking went, 3-1. Thank you.
Insane.
So
Right.
that's De Gea.
Yeah, dude. Some of the saves that he was making.
Yeah.
That's another Man U player.
Bro,
Good league.
they didn't have to spend that much money on they had a great keeper there,
Yeah.
right there.
They wasted money on that, dude. But yeah, no, look, I think we'll see Betis and Fiorentina versus each other in the semis.
I think that'll be a really good game to see.
I think so too.
Yeah.
Well, then we had your boys,
Yeah.
Chelsea, Copenhagen.
Bro, again, boring. But we got the win. That's all I care about.
Yeah. And then you had the Polish team, Warsaw, versus Mold.
Hey, they lost 3-2 in the first leg, won 2-0 at home, so they did their job.
Hey, look, you guys should be able to beat those guys and get through to the semis.
Yeah, definitely.
And we had De Garden.
The Garden.
De Garden go with a 3-0
That's a
win.
Swedish team, yeah.
Yeah, 3-0 win at home.
Nice.
That's what matters.
That's it.
They go through. And then against SK Rapid.
Yep, they won. They
Against
won
Borac.
2-1. They won 2-1 after the 1-1 draw at Borac's home ground. So, yeah. So Duragan versus Rapid. So look, if Chelsea beat Legia Warsaw, then we've got one of those teams. So I can only see Chelsea playing Fiorentina or Betis in the final.
Well, let's jump into my other fucking disappointment of the week, man.
Yes.
But look, I'm going to bring up the stats first before we talk about the game.
Yeah, let's do it.
Because this just breaks down what the fuck this game was.
Yep.
Okay? We're obviously a very attacking team, and all season we've created chances.
Mm-hmm.
7 shots, 2 on target is fairly unfucking acceptable
Yeah.
when you come to a final.
Especially a final,
But-
yeah.
Look, we had all the possession. We were making the passes. Our pass accuracy sucked for what we've been producing throughout the season. We had way too many fouls, dude.
You
Right?
guys have been. I know that in the PSG game, you were saying that it was a bit unfair towards your team, but you guys are giving away a lot of fouls
Well, I
recently.
think-
do you think that's just tired legs?
Look, I wanted to bring these up before we kind of just get back to ourselves, just
Okay.
to prove the point there that we did not play to the level that we should have played at for a okay. And I get it, it's a Carabao Cup, it's the least of the trophies are in, but it's a trophy, dude.
It's still a trophy. I mean, you look at Newcastle.
We
how
fought
much
this
it meant
hard
to them.
to get there.
Yeah.
Now, all respect to Newcastle, this was not we were hard done by or anything. Newcastle destroyed us.
Yeah.
Right? And like I won't even sugarcoat it, like in the PSG game we played well and made the game, but we didn't. This was, I think, obviously the hard game with PSG, and given the season that we've had, we're tired. And our players look tired out there.
Yeah.
The likes of Dominic weren't running as hard as they normally. McAllister was definitely a bit behind the play.
You've been talking about Gravenberg. You can see the decline.
Well, interestingly enough, he goes away comes back in.
Yeah.
Okay, before he's even played a game.
Yeah.
So I think, look, the tiredness of these players have really shown.
Yep.
They're not playing to where they were at the start of the season.
No, definitely not.
And, they're kind of limping over the finish.
Yeah.
And I feel for him in a sense because they went in there. Now, not to discredit bloody Newcastle at all, because the first goal from Dan Burn, right? Beautiful header, okay?
Yeah.
Ball comes in off a cross. McAllister's marking probably the biggest guy on the field.
Which he is probably the shortest guy
Yeah.
on your
Now,
on your team.
that's been questioned, and Slot did come out and had an explanation.
Was it zonal marking?
So we mark zonally. He went there. He goes, I've never seen a big guy that far out to produce a header with that much power.
Mm.
And I sit there and I go, fair enough.
Fair
Enough, right? You've all got to have a strategy for it. You've got to have a strategy for it, and that was the strategy we went with. It just didn't work, right? They beat our strategy in that one.
Yep.
Good work, Eddie Howe.
Yep.
Okay? You put your big man out there. It's obviously a risk because if you do into that centre area, you got Van Dijk in there. He's just so maybe it is a good strategy to have.
Yeah.
Look, disappointing, but to be fair, Newcastle not only withheld our pressure, we weren't able to create up front.
Their structure for defense was on point. Like I think Van Dijk called it. I don't know if it was last week or the week before, but he said that this is Newcastle's final. He was right because they played like. Well,
they wanted to, right? They hadn't won a trophy in 70 years.
70 years. That is just
now,
out of control.
The other stat is there hasn't been an English manager win a trophy for 30-something years.
No, 2008.
Oh, sorry. So what's that? 20?
No, 15, 17 years.
17 years. So there hasn't been an English manager win.
Fucking Harry Redknapp, huh?
Yeah.
The wheeler and dealer.
Yeah. Fuck. So you start to look at some of these stats and you're like, you could see by the game that Newcastle won.
Yeah.
They were focused. They were winning the 50-50s and their game plan worked and they stuck to it.
Yep.
Right? Ishak had an overturned goal, which, to be fair, I don't think should have been overturned.
Was that for offside?
Yeah, they called offside. Now, he wasn't offside.
No, he
Gravenberch
wasn't,
kept him on, but there was a guy in the 6-yard box. He was not affecting the play.
Yeah, well, was he in front of Kelleher? Is that why
he
they
was
said he was
standing in the
offside?
6-yard box?
Yeah, okay.
So they go with that rule. But then, not even 5 minutes later, Ishak comes down.
He gets his goal.
Gets a goal. Beautiful goal.
It was.
Goal.
Yeah.
And to be fair, he should have had another near the end of the game, but the ball just went behind him and he flicked it and Kelleher made the save.
Yep.
But we did not start creating chances until the 62nd minute or something like that.
Yeah.
And even when we created a few chances around that pressure, Newcastle went down the other end and almost scored. So everything.
Well, I mean, it shows the stats, right? Like you guys had all the possession, but they had way more shots than you. That's how it was.
We were creating nothing. Our guys weren't running.
Yep.
Now the game changed in our favour when we brought on Chiesa and we brought on Harvey Elliott. Now everyone's going on about Chiesa. Do we give him more time? He's he had all these completed dribbles. He had these shots on target, and he got the goal right at the end of the game. It was all Harvey Elliott. Harvey Elliott. If you watch his goal, Harvey Elliott gets the ball in the midfield, plays a ball through 3 players, and then essentially he just turns and scores.
Yep.
Great finish. Don't get me wrong, but again, we can't focus on one player and go it was all he doing it without saying Harvey Elliott was creating the chances. He was running around, but again, it's 2 players that are playing that were able to make a difference.
That was a big difference. Yeah, you could see the difference between
running.
playing. Like the other guys have played say 40 games, probably more. Say 50 games, right?
Yeah.
They played Chiesa, who's played like maybe 5
games in lesser games.
Yeah.
Right? So he's obviously got fresh legs.
Yeah.
So he's obviously going to run more. Look, whether or not we should have had the argument that maybe should have started Harvey Elliott, should have done something more with Harvey Elliott. Maybe. But it was a bad game by us all around.
Yeah.
We deserved to lose.
Newcastle deserved it, that's for sure.
However, look, my outlook for it, I was pretty pissed off, obviously losing the PSG game and then losing.
Well, I want to ask you that. Do you think that the PSG game, because you guys played 120 minutes of a high intensity, highly emotional game, do you think that would have played a massive part?
Of course, right? Yeah. You only have a week off after paying 120 minutes.
Well, no, you had like 4 days off because it was on like Wednesday and you played on Monday.
Yeah. So, it's not a lot of time. And
they had a full week off.
Yeah. And then obviously you're going to have to travel the night before. So you really got 3 days of relaxing before travelling to London to play at the Wembley. It was hard. Yeah. It was hard for us to do. I don't think we've got the squad depth to be able to do that.
To compete on multiple fronts?
No, not at all.
Well, that's where you got to give you guys credit for what you've done in the league because you guys have played so well in the league. But it's a good thing that you do have such a big lead over Arsenal and Forest because, like you said, you guys do look like you're starting to limp.
Well, I think look, here's how I look at it, right?
Mhm.
If at the start of the season you had said to me, you'll make the Carabao Cup final, lose, you'll get knocked out of the Champions, you'll come first in the group stage of the Champions League, but get knocked out to a very strong PSG side
On penalties.
and you'll win the league, I would have taken it.
Yeah, if they
And
said...
I would have been super happy.
Yeah, fuck yeah.
I think the problem is that obviously the hope train, everyone was riding it.
Well, after seeing the way you guys play, your expectations go up, right? You think, oh, look, we're playing so well. We can win the Carabao Cup.
Yeah.
We can win the Champions League. You know, those expectations go up. But like you said, start of the year, I didn't even have you guys in the top 4. You know what I mean? So if they said to you, oh, don't worry about that, you're going to win the league, you'd be like, fuck, hectic. You take that all day.
Yeah, no, look, 100%, right? If they said that if we're gonna win the league, we would take. I would have taken it and been happy with it.
Yeah,
so
exactly.
I've kind of just shifted off. Look, let's just focus on what we've got remaining.
Yeah, so you got what, 10 games left? Or you got 9? Sorry, you got 9 games left. You got 9 games left of the season. You've got and you need to win what, maybe 4 of them to
Yes, yeah. So if we
and that's with Arsenal winning everything. So
exactly right.
Yeah,
exactly right.
Yeah.
So that's kind of where we're at. I mean, look, why don't we just kind of go through our points for this week? I don't know if you want to. If you got yours on your phone.
Yeah, I've got mine on my phone. Yeah.
Go through yours. For some reason, it's logged me out of mine. I'll have to.
Yeah, you've logged into mine.
Yeah, I'll quickly log into mine.
Yeah,
so
you go through yours. I'll quickly go through mine. Look, I used my wild card this week, knowing that it was going to be dog shit. But look, I got 47, which was more than the average, which I was kind of happy about. Look, my big scorers were Kirk got 4, Robinson got 7, and Fernandez got 17.
Yeah,
I didn't captain Fernandez though.
You killed it with him.
Yeah, I know. If I captained him, because I captained Kluivert I thought he was definitely going to get at least an assist. Didn't get nothing, unfortunately. But if I captained him, I would have got 45 plus 17. I would have got like 62.
Yeah, that would
makes a massive difference, right?
Score.
And to be fair, I should have done it. I vice captained him, thinking, oh, maybe if Kluivert doesn't play, but bro, Bruno Fernandes has done everything for Man U. It was dumb on my part to not captain him.
I mean, I had a terrible week again. I think I've screwed my team for the back half of this season. I'll tell you that much. So I got 38 points. Look, I won for Sells. I thought he'd do a lot better.
I had him too.
I captained Gabriel with the thought they'd keep a clean sheet. I got that thought. Dickhead gets a yellow card. So I only get 10 points instead of 12 out of him. If I at least got 12, I would have got the average.
Yeah, you got right on the average.
Then my best was Robertson, Kirkes in my back line. My midfield,
literally
terrible,
nothing.
Dude. It was like 0 from Palmer, didn't play.
He didn't
Christie
play. Yeah.
got 2. Naweri got 1. And Minte got 2.
Yep.
My vice captain was Wissa. Should have went with him.
Yeah. No. It makes such a big difference when you get that captain right.
Points.
Yeah.
Would have got an extra 6. But we'll update where we go after the international break.
Yeah, so look, we've got international break at the moment, Nations League, World Cup qualifiers. So look, we'll go over who we're going to do our transfers with next week.
Yeah. Well, thanks for listening, guys.
Thank you, everyone.